Hi, I'm James McGuire, and on today's eSpeaks, we're talking about how artificial intelligence is used in online education, including some of the challenges for AI in learning environments. We'll also take a look at the future of AI in education. To discuss that, I'm joined by a major industry thought leader. With me is Greg Brown, the CEO of Udemy. Greg, thrilled to have you with us today.
James, great to be with you.
So, AI in education, it's kind of a funny topic in that I think that there's almost an emotional aspect. I'm sure there's some people who think about, artificial intelligence in the classroom or in learning. My favorite English teacher was Mr. Ribbing in high school, and I think AI could never replace Mr. Ribbing, and we really should just have humans in the classroom. AI is really a step down. What would you say to those folks?
Yeah, it's a really good question and one that I get asked quite often. Look, our view is the integration of generative AI into the learning experience delivered by the instructor really is the best of both worlds. And in fact, Sam Altman talked about this just a little bit over a year ago with Reid Hoffman in a podcast. And he talked about the fact that, in the classroom, what engages and enthralls all of us are the experiences and the unique points of view that instructors bring to life in a world-class learning experience. And that's something that we all are endeared to. I mean, I remember instructors and professors in university that I couldn't wait to get to the course because of how they brought that content to life and really how they made that learning experience so rich. And, generative AI, if it was, hypothetically a avatar that looked like me, that had voice recognition, that sounded like me, reading off a script, is not going to be able to match that experience. And that's something that we feel very passionate about. What we're focused on is leveraging generative AI and developing tools and capabilities to enable our instructors. We have over 70,000 instructors, creators on our platform that develop world-class learning experiences that we make available to individuals and organizations. And our point of view is our job is to enable them with the technology, the AI capabilities to enrich in that learning experience, make their job easier, make them more effective and efficient at innovating and developing those learning experiences. And we believe that that is the future and that that's the path that the generative AI is on, to be a more integrated experience into the overall instructor-led learning environment.
So really, the AI, in essence, is an assistant teacher, which makes perfect sense. Many teachers, I'm sure, really want one or several assistant teachers, which brings us to the question. So how specifically can those AI-based assistant teachers help learners?
Well, it really in a number of ways. And, I'll highlight a couple of them. Right now, in the corporate environment, the shelf life of technical skills is less than 2 years. And organizations are facing skill shortages and talent gaps of upwards of 85 million people.
Right.
So in response, companies are investing in skills-based talent management and talent development capabilities around skills and experiences. And Gen AI-powered features bolster these efforts by providing learning to support saving time, unblocking learning, and developing skills at the speed of innovation, at the pace of change. And all told, this can accelerate workforce upskilling so enterprises can keep up with the pace of change. And that's a big focus right now for our enterprise customers as we meet with them around the world.
Mm-hmm. I'm trying to drill down and see a really specific example. You talked about the need for new skills in the tech industry, which is massive. Say, for example, I'm a software developer. I'm taking a class on software development, taught by a really great coder, individual. What exactly would the Gen AI tool be doing in that kind of situation?
That's a good question. So we just released 2 new capabilities that we're already seeing significant impact in terms of enhancing the overall learning experience. So one is an AI assistant that we just launched. And effectively what this is, it's a natural language chat interface that enables learners to discover relevant content based on career or learning aspirations, provide real-time guidance and personalized learning recommendations, which is key right now to accelerate the pace of learning.
Mm-hmm.
And then reduce instructor workload, as I just talked about, by automating responses and surfacing FAQs and making their jobs easier as they're developing learning experiences for our learners on the individual and corporate side. So, that's something we're really excited about. We're already seeing upticks in engagement, return visitors to courses, and we expect to see, because we just launched this a few weeks ago, the pace by which folks are moving through learning, moving through these courses and into certifications, accelerating rapidly.
Great.
The
All
other
right. So,
capability,
yes,
we actually launched another capability I touched on briefly.
please.
Some we're equally excited about. It's called skills mapping. And what this is designed to pinpoint the most important skills for success for an individual, create a skills tree to guide the development across teams, match top-rated courses to the skills framework, and then probably most importantly, scale a personalized learning path experience to drive growth and performance at all levels for individuals in the organization. So equally excited about skills mapping, and we're in early days right now. As I just mentioned, we launched just a few weeks ago, but we're seeing very positive signs on both fronts.
Well, as you say, we are in early days. It's still, emerging tech. I guess I'm wondering, what are some of the challenges that people have encountered so far in terms of AI assistance in an educational environment? Is personalization an issue, or what still needs to be worked on?
Well, I think like any new technology, one of the first issues with AI assistance is adoption, or AI in general. It's getting folks comfortable with using the technology. And our research shows that learners are excited about personalized learning experiences and real-time assistance with generative AI and that type of capability. But they're also concerned about accuracy. We've heard a lot about that, read a lot about that, losing the human touch, which you alluded to earlier, and potential bias. So, there's work to do, but AI-enabled learning still requires that human guidance, which I alluded to. And within organizations, leaders have to assess where to effectively deploy AI, but it should be an integrated experience. I'll just restate that to improve the overall learning outcomes, at the same time not compromising the process through bias or inaccuracies and what have you. So still work to do. But that's kind of what we're seeing in terms of how individuals and organizations are working through the early days.
Yeah, I could see, among other things, the bias being perhaps an issue, because some of those models and the way they've been trained, you never know. I think there is progress being made on that issue for sure. All right, you've talked a bit about how Udemy is using AI assistance in online learning. What else should we know in terms of how AI is supporting an educational environment?
Well, we're seeing huge demand right now, and I believe that's going to continue, right? We offer over 2,000 Gen AI related courses on our platform. And over the last 2 years, they've attracted over 4 million enrollments. We're seeing upwards of 8 new enrollments every minute. And our data shows that in 2025, the shift is going to be organizations and individuals looking to apply generative AI to more practical ways within the organization to drive to specific outcomes around daily operations. So really up until now, we've seen a lot more of, in the work we've done with customers, it's been a lot more about creating a baseline understanding across their organization as to what Gen AI is, how to think about it, why you shouldn't be afraid of it, and a base level education. And so now moving forward, it's going to be a lot more specificity around how to drive organizational outcomes associated with leveraging Gen AI across the various functions in the organization. So that's the big shift that we're seeing in as we turn the corner on 2025 and organizations asking for more support in that area.
Well, all right. What do you see when you look into the future of AI and online education? It seems like one of the natural progressions would be there really would be less human instructors, and perhaps the generative AI applications really are taking over the educational duties, and that obviously the Gen AI bots are getting more and more sentient or sentient like. I mean, when you look into the future, do you see like, oh, we may not need humans, or humans would have a diminished role as the generative AI applications take more and more of a role?
It's a really good question. I don't think any of us really know, for sure how it's all going to unfold, but we're working on the ability to that hybrid approach, that integrated approach that we just mentioned. So envision a world where an instructor does have access to technology where they can they're not having to, right now, our instructors on our platform, they have to video, produce, publish all of their courses on our platform. In the future, we may be able to enable them with a VR, a virtual reality type environment that we're actually doing some work on right now, and an avatar-based capability so that it's an avatar that does look like me with voice recognition that sounds like me. And they can spend all of their time on the content that they want to be delivered to bring that learning experience to life. A lot like what I talked about earlier with respect to instructors and how we have engaged with instructors in the classroom, but to accelerate that pace, because they're not going to be, saddled with having to video, edit, produce, and publish, they can spend all their time on the learning experience. And so we're really excited about that. And we're piloting some of that technology right now. And there's a lot of promise around it. But look, I think it's going to be an integrated experience. I think we all truly enjoy human interaction. We're social creatures by nature. I think that's going to be with us, forever. I don't see that going away. So, right now we're all about enabling generative AI to provide a richer learning experience in combination with the instructors that are on our platform creating amazing content.
Greg, I think you said it. Really interesting stuff. It's going to be fascinating to see how the sector evolves. Thanks, and I hope you come back and talk with us again sometime.
It was great to be with you, James. Take care.